What's good YouTube, Akil here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be sharing some sales from eBay with you guys, and the majority of these sales have all been coming within the last maybe 5 to 7 days. So this will give you guys a good idea of what's actually selling on eBay right now. So if you guys haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alright y'all, so first things first, I'm starting off with one of my favorite brands to sell, and this is a pair of shoes from the brand Keen. And Keen is definitely more of like an outdoor brand. I always talk about this brand because, like I said, it's one of my favorite ones to sell. And this pair of shoes sold for $54.99 plus $9 shipping. And like I said, these types of shoes are hiking boots, so they tend to be kind of dirty when I find them in thrift stores or garage sales and stuff like that. But I still pick them up even if they're kind of dirty. Most of the time I'll still clean them up a little bit just so that they can look a little more appealing for buyers. But if there is some dirt and stuff like that, I usually would still just go ahead and list it. And I usually always get at least 50 to 60 bucks for shoes like this. If they are more like a high top boot and maybe like a steel toe, I might tend to ask for a little more, because a lot of their shoes do retail for a ton of money. But like I said, this particular model I was able to get 55 bucks plus $9 shipping, and I think I spent like 7 or 8 bucks on these. So if you guys find any shoes from the brand Keen, definitely pick it up. Next up, you got a pair of Allen Edmonds loafers, and I was hoping I was gonna get a little more money for these Allen Edmonds because they were in pretty good condition, and they even had that horse bit loafer that a lot of people love when it comes to picking up Allen Edmonds. But I told you guys a few times in the past, Allen Edmonds and just dress shoes in general, like menswear in general, just isn't selling as fast, mostly because of the pandemic and people aren't going back and forth to offices. But these ended up selling for 60 bucks. I was originally asking $69.99 plus $9 shipping, and someone sent me a message and asked me if I'd take 60, so I just adjusted the price for them. Since I don't accept offers on any items, I just went ahead and adjusted the price, and they paid right away. So like I said, I hoped I was gonna make a little bit more on these, but it is what it is, and I think I spent like 7 bucks on these, so definitely a good amount of profit. Next up, we got something super random. I'm not even sure what these are. I just know the name is Panduit, and then it's like a Minicom jack module. Not really sure what these are, what people can do with these, but when I seen these, it was in a really big bag, and it was like 6 bucks, and they had like over 100 of these, and I bundled up a lot of 10 of these, and I ended up selling these for 50 bucks. So tell you guys all the time, sometimes it's not super important to even know what you're selling. Sometimes you just gotta have that eye and kind of know what to look for. But like I said, I just decided to bundle them up and sell them as a lot, and I was able to make a decent amount of profit with these, and I still have a few left in these, so hopefully they start to move a little more, because I had these listed for at least 6 months now, so definitely happy that I finally sold some. Next up, we got something super random, and I'm trying to list at least 10 items a day every single day for the next 60 days. I'm just trying to get into a good little rhythm of just constantly listing, just trying to keep up with the motto of just consistency. And I ended up coming across this old link cable that I had, and I don't remember when I picked this up, how much I got it for. I had this sitting in my inventory for a long time unlisted, and I just went ahead and I checked the comps on these, and these were selling for like 35 to as high as like 40 bucks, and it sold within about 2 or 3 days. So definitely very happy with this, and I'm going to try to be on a lookout a little more for some of these old Nintendo cables, because they definitely carry a lot of value. And even though it's super small, super light, these are the types of stuff I love carrying in my inventory, mainly because it moves so fast and it's just super easy to store. Next up, we got something else super random. I wasn't really sure what this was, but something just made me want to check this out, mainly because it was Samsung, and I've sold some Samsung electronics in the past for a ton of profit. So I looked this one up, and this is actually the Samsung One Connect mini box. And I seen people sell these without the cable for like 70 bucks, and with the cable it was getting over $100. And luckily this one had the cable with it as well, and I was able to get 110 bucks with this one, free shipping, and I spent 10 bucks on this. So definitely very glad that this was able to sell for as much profit as it did, because that was like a slow day in the thrift store, so I was kind of really like combing through a lot of the stuff that they had on the shelves, and this one just stood out to me, super random, and I'm just glad I was able to pick this one up because it sold for a ton of profit. Next up, we got a pair of shoes that I thought was gonna sit for a little while longer, but it sold within a month, so that was kind of quick for me. This was a pair of Android Homes, and these were in really good condition. They were my size, but I'm not wearing shoes like this anymore, and I picked these up for I think 5 bucks, and they sold for 50 bucks plus $9 shipping. And Android Home is I guess you can call it more of like a designer brand, but it's definitely not like highly sought after or anything like that. And they don't retail for a ton of money either, probably like 120, 130. So not your typical like super expensive designer shoe, but this one sold for 50 bucks, and like I said, picked it up Was expecting it to sit for maybe 2 to 3 months, but sold super quick. So if I find this brand again, I'll probably be leaning more closer to picking it up. Next up, we got another holster, and I tend to find these pretty often now in Arizona. If you guys are out in Florida, you'll probably be finding a ton of these holsters out there too, or even in Texas. But this holster sold for $60 plus $7 shipping, and I think I spent maybe $5 or $6 on this one as well. And every time I find some of these holsters, I usually always grab them up. Sometimes I look them up, sometimes I'll check the comps while I'm in the store, but for the most part, every holster sells for at least sometimes $30 to $40, sometimes even a little more. And I picked up a few holsters that day, and this one sold for the most amount of money, so definitely glad about that. So anytime I'm in the thrift store and I come across these, I tend to always grab it up. Next up, we got a Nikon D50, and I kind of got somewhat of a feel-good story about this one. I actually sold this one on eBay a couple months ago, and the buyer said that they didn't know how to work the camera. They were just having some difficulties, so they wanted to return it. But they opened up the return case as not as described, so of course anytime a buyer does that, we have to cover the cost of shipping. So I sent them a message and told them it's perfectly fine if you don't want the camera, you just have to pay for return shipping. And then eBay automatically just, you know, canceled everything. They refunded the buyer, and I was kind of just stuck without the money or without the camera. So I was kind of upset about that, but it's all part of the game. It literally happens every once in a while. But the buyer actually sent me a message, and they basically were just as confused as I was, and they ended up returning the item to me. They paid for return shipping, and they even sent me a memory card as well. So what I was able to do was just relist this. When I originally listed this, I didn't have any memory cards, and I just added the memory card to this one, and it sold for $5 more than it did the last time. So at the end of the day, definitely happy about this. Like I said, most people would never return the item or even send me a message afterwards. So just a quick little feel-good story to let you guys know that there are some good buyers out there, people with integrity. And I know a lot of people always complain about the scams on eBay. I know I made a few videos about that in the past, but at the end of the day, there still are some good people out there. Next up, we got a pair of boots, and these are the Australian redback boots. Definitely never seen this brand before, but it reminded me of this one brand called Blundstone, and they're also like an Australian brand, have boots very similar to this. So that's what I thought these boots were. That's why I grabbed them up. But once I looked a little closer, I realized that they had like a spider logo on these. And once I checked the comps, these were selling for like $80 to $100 based on the condition. And these were in pretty good shape, kind of dirty, so I did have to clean it up. But they sold for $80 plus $12 shipping. And the buyer sent me a message I think it was just yesterday or the day before, saying that the fit was great and they were just very happy with the purchase. So I don't get comments and messages like that often, so that was also just a nice touch. Next up, this is a really good example of the small electronics that I love to find in thrift stores because they usually price it super cheap. This is a Sony Walkman radio, and I picked this one up for I think $3 or $4, and this one sold for $50 with free shipping. And I think I was able to get a little more money for this, mainly because it had the belt clip attached to it. So people that are usually taking this out for like their morning run, they would definitely want the belt clip attached. So this sold really quickly. I think it sold the very same day that I listed it, and like I said, I picked it up for like $3, so definitely made a good amount of profit on that. So anytime you guys see some of these small little Sony stuff, always pick it up because it usually does have a decent amount of value, and even if it doesn't work, you could still sell it for parts for at least $20. Next up, we got this foot massager, and I think I shared this in a recent trip to the thrift where I was able to pick this up for I think $12.50, and this item sold for $150, so I was definitely very happy about that. And I was even able to ship this out through Pirate Ship. For those of you that aren't familiar with Pirate Ship, that's the company that I use to kind of just save some money on shipping. And if you guys didn't see that video, I'll make sure I put that in the cards in the description so you guys can check that video out. But like I said, I was able to ship this out, and I think I only spent like $10 on shipping, and usually some big bulky items would cost me way more if I used UPS or even FedEx. So at the end of the day, I just was able to save some money on shipping, and I made a ton of profit with this one because like I said, picked it up for $12.50, and it sold maybe within like 2 or 3 days. Super quick turnaround. I also have 2 other ones very similar to this. They're a little older, but hopefully those sell soon because it's taking up a lot of space in my inventory. Alright y'all, that's all I have for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed that one, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, let me know which one of these items was your favorite sale, which one of these was something that you probably learned something brand new about, or just even drop a comment and let me know if you guys sold some of these items yourself in the past. So like I said, that's all I have for today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
For the winner, cause you felt like you was losing, only for the winner. Move just to keep from cooling, like only for the winner, only for the winner, only for the winner. Boy, my heart is cold, and I'm too cool to sweat it. I should've never offered it. I'm tight and now I'm off this shit. You should wanna be a real one.